South Africa's economy has a number of people, in fact, millions of people living below the poverty line. Additionally, it has a lot of young people going to the working world way before they actually get tertiary qualifications or they get some form of official or formal education. So you see a lot of young people at the age of 16, 17, etc., going out into the working world, either dropping out of school or just going into the working world as soon as they finish high school. And this is my story. I'm one of the people that actually had to go to work just after I graduated from high school. So today I actually want to share what it actually means and what it entails and how you can make it being a breadwinner, because it's something that not a lot of people talk about. In fact, I normally get the sense that people are actually shy to share the fact that they are the sole provider or the breadwinner of their family. So here's my humble insight on how you can actually make it as a breadwinner. Number one, there's absolutely nothing to be ashamed of. You are doing an honorable thing. To take care of your family way before you actually even become an adult, way before you actually, have found yourself in the world, is an honorable thing to do. And please don't get me wrong. I'm not promoting situations where children are actually heading homes. I'm not for that. But I'm basically talking about someone who's actually made a decision, someone who's over 18, and someone who's actually said, you know what, I want to take care of my family. I want to help make sure that my family is basically living a dignified life and we're able to have a roof over our heads and have bread on the table. That's who I'm referring to. So you are doing an honorable thing. You are doing the right thing. And although it may seem very daunting, it may seem like something so intimidating, you actually can do it. So kudos to you. Number two, do not allow people to treat you with a sense of pity. Do not allow people to always basically give you pity. Instead, allow people and let people know that what you seek is empowerment, not pity. Growing up, there were many, many times and many situations where people would actually feel pity for me when I didn't feel pity for myself. People feel pity for me and they would say, oh, Shame, sorry that you actually cannot, further your education. Sorry that you cannot actually, just live out your youth and just enjoy life. I honestly did not need that, because already I had made a decision that this is what I want to do. This is the path that I actually want to take. Therefore, their pity was actually not doing anything for me. Instead, it was just making me feel like I should, I'm kind of maybe going through a lesser path, or I'm kind of just, I don't know, a lesser person. So I eventually got to a point in my life where I just did not accept pity, but I actually wanted to only deal with people that would empower me and encourage me and also respect the path that I had to take, obviously, for my future and my family's future. So the second point that I'd like to share is that always be very mindful of what people are giving you, because some people actually will just give you pity and that's not what you need. Number three, always avoid being around people that actually do not want to understand your situation. And by me saying do not want to understand your situation, I'm talking about people that actually want to just kind of make you feel like you're less of a person, especially friends and peers, where people would actually make you feel like there's something wrong with you if you don't have a certain luxury, like a car, or you can't afford certain clothes, or you can't hang out in certain places. At the end of the day, your priority for that phase of your life is not to have maybe a car. It's not to basically be around certain fancy places or just have certain things. Your priority is to just get on with what needs to be done for yourself and for people at home. So always avoid people that do not want to understand that situation. People that always question, when are you buying a car? You don't need that as someone who's basically a breadwinner, who's basically wanting to provide for their family and make sure that you uplift your family and make sure that, your family is living a dignified life. So number three is definitely avoid people that do. So number three is to avoid people that do not want to understand your situation. Stay away from those people. They're just going to drag you down and leave you feeling depressed and leave you feeling like you don't actually know what you're doing. Number four, always communicate with your family what your goals and dreams are. So one of the things that I found to be important growing up, and obviously as I rose in the ranks of my life, was to actually communicate with my family what my plans and my dreams and my ambitions were. Because sometimes as the breadwinner or the sole provider, people can assume that you're actually okay with the way things are. People can actually assume, or your family can assume, that you're okay with the fact that you don't have a car, you're okay with the fact that you don't have certain luxuries, which you normally would want to have. I mean, you're a human being. So it's very important to actually communicate and say, hey, I think at the end of this year, I actually want to work on getting a car because obviously I want to have more freedom, I want to have access to certain things, and I want to go to certain places, and I just want to be safe. So, guys, what's going to happen is that I may not be able to, for example, fulfill certain duties or fulfill certain responsibilities here at home because I'm working on getting a car. And you'll find that most of the time, the family or the people involved in your life will actually be appreciative of that. And if they care about you just as much as you care about them, they'll absolutely support the dream of yours. And they'll also work on finding ways to actually make sure that they help you, or they just kind of ease the burden so you can achieve your dream. So communication is very important. Don't just take your dreams or your plans and put them aside and think that, it should just be like that. No, communicate and actually find ways to basically let everyone know what you are planning. That's number 4. Communicate, share your plans, and share your ambitions. And the last one, always, always remember that God is with you all the time. God always, always, always protects, blesses. I'm getting emotional. Okay. Bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. God always protects, always provides, and always, always, always blesses those who take care of others. Your family is just going through a phase. It's not the end of the world. Things will not always be like that. So what you need to do is to realize that, you know what, whilst I'm going through this, whilst I have to take care of my family during this time, it does not mean that my life is over. It does not mean that basically I'm done. Life will always be like this. Sorry, guys. Very sensitive topic. So you basically just need to always pray and always remember that God is with you and you can make it and you live the life of your dreams. It will be hard. There will be times when you feel like you're depressed. There will be times when you feel like you can't do certain things. There will be times when you feel so unhappy, but just remember, it's just a phase and you're going to be fine. And trust God and always pray. And don't let people make you feel stupid. Don't let people make you feel like you're less of a person because you're a breadwinner. It's just a phase. Things do get better. The sun does get to shine bright. So those are the 5 things that I wanted to share with you. And just to let you know that being a breadwinner is something that is obviously very daunting, very intimidating, and it can be overwhelming. But it's just a phase, and you will make it. And always keep God